Welcome to Bookish Quests and Body Reps, the book review series where I give you a review of a book and workouts that you can do to help you face the situations that our main characters face in the book. So, our first book is going to be the first book of the Witches of Triora Vessel by author Jessica Ann Disciacca. Now, to give you a little summary of what the book is about, we open with our main character, Saren, in a nunnery in an abbey where she is suffering from polio, and the nuns have been caring for her and raising her for her entire life. But she is about to find out that her family history is way more intense than she could have ever imagined, because she's about to find out that she is a witch. So she's been raised her whole life in a nunnery to become a nun while dealing with an illness, only to discover that she is in fact a witch and heir to one of the most powerful covens in the entire world. So from there, she's going to have to decide if she wants to embrace her new destiny and start training for it. So some of the things I liked about this book: one, if you know anything about like the heroines in books, absolutely drives me nuts. One of my biggest pet peeves is when our main character is doing tons of intense training to prepare them for the battle ahead and is eating like coffee for breakfast or maybe some toast or a piece of fruit. That is not training or fueling her workload, okay? But Jessica Ann Disciacca here knows her stuff, and as Saren starts helping her body get stronger from going from polio to building up to fight this battle, she not only trains in a way that makes sense to go from basically not being able to move to being a badass ready to go into battle. She eats like she is training for these things, and I absolutely love that. Another thing I love, like the nun to witch, is not something you see a lot, and I am here for it. And this is a urban fantasy setting, so it's kind of modern day. And as we go through this training, there is a little bit of a love triangle. I will tell you, I don't like the love interest. Well, at least one of them. He always just a little bit of a red flag. I'm also not quite sure of the second love interest as I'm reading this book, but I love Saren and I love the idea of the book that I'm just, this girl was raised in a nunnery. Okay, we can't expect her to make a good first or second choice. The first guy that pays attention when you spent your life surrounded by women. So I understand where she's coming from. I'm just here to support her and maybe sometimes like to nose of her in the back of the head. But for the training for this book, so this training series, like if you're training like Saren, she is not only new to exercise, she comes from a very sedentary background. So you don't want to start out hard or like right out of the gates. We're talking like your cardio is probably going to be something simple like walking, hiking, things you would do in everyday life to build your endurance, and leveling those up as you go. So if you're just starting with walking, you get good, you're going to add some weight, whether it's a stroller, carrying a child, a weighted vest, adding some inclines or hills. And then another thing, like with your weight training, starting with body weight movements, making sure your form is correct, and then again adding that weight as you go. Like Saren does not just come from the nunnery and go straight to sword swinging and running into a battle. She builds up her endurance and her strength from basically nothing to, able to maybe win that battle. And that's kind of what you want to think when you are going through this. You want to start at the beginning. So maybe, if you can't do a plank on the floor, doing a wall plank or an elevated plank on a bench. If you can't run a long distance or it hurts your joints, starting with just that walking and slowly increasing either your speed or your distance, whichever makes sense for you. And same thing with your weight. Starting with just body weight movements, even just squats and lunges, planks, push-ups, even if you have to elevate them a little or squat to a chair or bench and stand up or even hold on to a wall or a chair. This workout is really going to be anything that seems just a tad challenging and that you can level up as you go to those more intense things. So stay tuned for our next book where I will give you my review and a workout that goes along with it. And if you haven't read this yet, it is a completed series. The third one came out in May, so you can dive right in and just go with Saren till the end and not have to wait for that next one. So this was Book Quests and Body Reps, and I will see you next time for a book review and a workout to go with it.